Yeah.
All right, we're transitioning through the decades, and we're into the current decade and era. Yeah, this one's an uncomfortable one to talk about.
Yeah, it is, because it's now you can debate. You know what I mean? Now there's shoot debate. So you go ahead with your current.
So my current, I'm gonna put out just because I'm fans of them from coming in, and I got to work with these guys, and I'm hoping they're gonna be as good as I think they will be, and will prove themselves as a future Mount Rushmore team. And that's gonna be the Creeds on NXT. Julius and Brutus. I mean, there's just something about Julius. That dude is special. He's wired differently than anyone I've ever met. And if he sets his mind to something, he's going to make it happen.
Yeah, what a great human being. Him and his brother, both great human beings. What a great example for people to. They're both really smart, both really strong work ethic. They're on my list as well. And it's because I think they have unbridled potential, and the sky is the limit with those guys. So again, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but they're on mine too, dude, because they're that kind of people.
So I'm going to take it over to AEW, but from my experience with them at NXT, Red Dragon, O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish made an impact before getting to NXT and Ring of Honor, made the impact in NXT, carrying the championships, made the transition over there, and I think we're going to see them have some success as well.
Agreed. And look at, so they're not on my list, but they easily could be in any of the positions. Those guys knew what they were doing in Ring of Honor. They came to NXT. They knew what they were doing. We could put them right in anything, and they were all professionals, and they all knew what to do and when to do it. And so those guys, they could go anywhere on the list easily.
So I think the caveat on these on all these teams in this era that I'm going with, a lot of this is going to be based on longevity, and if they can stay healthy and have a long-term career. I didn't necessarily add some of the teams that were in my 2010s, even though they're all still competing and would be absolutely valid for these. So the next two on WWE I chose, Alpha Academy, Otis and Gable, both incredible talents, incredible athletes, and I don't even think we've seen them reach their prime peak potential or anything yet.
No. And the important part about that to me, and I'm sorry I interrupted you, but it goes back to my points about the relationship, the dynamic in the relationship. These two guys are best friends. They have trained together for years in collegiate wrestling. They train together today in each other's garages. They were back in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center together
before Gable went to the Olympics. I mean,
this
goes back.
And so when they get over, and they're kind of doing it right now as heels, when they turn back baby faces and they beat the crap out of Gable, and he makes the hot tag to Otis after knowing that how their relationship is, and it's going to be Katie bar the door. And I don't know who Katie is and why she keeps barring that damn door.
My final team, Dogg. Street Profits, man. If they can make it last, they got something special.
They deserve to be in the conversation, because you're right, they do have something special. And it's not, Montez definitely stands out as the entertainer, but Dawkins brings a little bit of that not so pretty. A little rough around the edges, a little hardcore, a little not street. I don't mean it like that, but just a little more aggressive,
a little grit,
a little less flashy, and a little more gritty. And I think that they work well together. Having said
if Montez is Michael, he's bringing the Tito.
100%. Or if he's Michael, he's bringing the Buddy Jack. Or the Bam Bam.
All right, let's go with Dogg year teams in the modern current era.
Let's see what happens here. Let me whip this out again. Excuse me. Current. So I put the Usos on there.
Absolutely. I mean,
look, the Usos to me. So I flew in and out every week with their father, and they would be there to pick their father up from the airport, and so I've known those guys forever. I didn't know Roman as well, but he was around too. I'm sure I saw him 100 times at shows in Pensacola and stuff. But So I got to stick with my 850 boys. But to that point, it's not just out of my loyalty and our regional, what brings us together. It's that those guys have been reinventing the wheel. Remember when they first started, they had face paint and they were doing this, and it was cool, and they were doing
the SEMA Tower, the Haka.
Remember, then they changed to when, and this is going to sound braggadocious, it's kind of meant to be, tooting my own horn. When I was writing SmackDown, they started being a little more harder and a little more gangster and a little more rapping promo and a little more, excuse me, I was writing SmackDown, me and Stevie G and Johnny Russo, when we did that rap battle between them and the New Day. And the Usos can bring it in a promo, man. They got rhythm, they got heart, they got soul, and
there's emotion behind it. 100%. You think they're speaking from the heart.
100%, because they come from an old school legacy, a line of legends, as far as you can see back, and they got something to prove. You know what I mean? And so they work hard and they play hard too. And some would say, "Oh, you're going to put him on there, he has a DUI or whatever." Like, really? That's what we're talking about here?
So I brought up longevity for the other teams, but the thing is, if the Usos retired tomorrow, they have a career that has spanned long enough to be absolutely deserving of that spot.
100%.
Still.
And one thing I love that also will probably be critiqued heavily online is I love the Usos and Roman Reigns having all those titles. I think that is so cool and so much heat at the same time. And so we'll see if it's turned the channel heat or just screw you heat. But I noticed they're selling a lot of T-shirts too, so I'm not the only one thinking they're cool. So I got the Usos.
Look at every sports show that every celebrity sports panelist is quoting, "Acknowledge me."
Yeah, acknowledge me. And think about that from a catchphrase standpoint. Like, that's beautiful. That's genius. It's so apropos that you just stand there and basking in the glory.
And then how about Heyman, on top of his game, still doing all of this?
Still doing all of it. But look, that's what
the best of all time. Mount Rushmore.
To do it. Yeah, he would be on my Mount Rushmore for sure of seconds or valet manager. So Usos. So now I'm going to jump over to a team that hasn't been around a long time, but I think they're going to make, if they're used properly, and I think they will be, is the BCC. Not to be confused with BBC, but this is BCC. It's the Blackpool Combat Club, and it's
It just went down too. Oh,
it's all right. There's just dogs and cats living together. It's anarchy. So BCC, because look, I love Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, whatever. I love Moxley. I think there's something there. I'll never forget Kane and somebody kicking him while he was down in a backstage, and they stopped kicking him, and he looked up and said, "Is that all you got?" And they just beat the crap out of him some more. But that's my guy. You know what I mean? That's my dude. My dude's the guy that does run into the house that's on fire. My guy's the dude that does go out of his way he's the good Samaritan, but he's also the psycho that will run into the firefight to help someone. You know what I mean? Or to just look cool. But so anyway, BCC. This one I'm going to get a lot of heat for, but I've probably already said it a lot. I think the Ass Boys have a ton of potential. I really do. I think they have a ton of potential. I think if they can get with somebody like FTR or like a team that's been working a while is all I mean.
That can lead them in the ring a little bit.
That can lead them in the ring a little bit and teach them how to feel the people and not just react or overreact, and you know what I mean? That can calm them down in there and talk to them. I think to have we're not doing a ton of live events, but if you could do a live event loop with those two teams, FTR and Ass Boys, those Ass Boys will be coming out of there ready for tag title runs. And again, that's just me, and I love Billy Gunn. So the last one was the Creed brothers. It's the same. And again, it's not because of their body of work. It's because the characters they are in real life and the human beings they are and their work ethic. If you know them and you converse with them and you see them, how hard they work, if you want them to fail, something's wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like you really want these guys to succeed because of how hard they work and how much they put into it. And I mean, I'm talking about, hey, you got to kick out stronger than that. Then those two guys stay after and top each other and kick out 100 times. You know what I mean? And it's just like, hey, you don't have to do that. Just kick out stronger next time. You know what I mean? But these two guys take it to the extreme. Like, no, we're going to do what you tell us to do, and we're going to do it right.
Even on the mic. I mean, you could say that when Julius came in, he was a robot for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And he knew it. And he would start sending me, I'd say every night, 14 promos.
Yeah.
Just like trying to do it every night, sending more and more and more. What do you think? What can I do different?
He's a really smart guy, and he's clever and witty, but in a dry way, so he doesn't like make you die laughing, but he's funny. And so I
every
think
day he'd come in and be like, "What can I do better to make me better?"
Yes,
and be like,
yes.
"Oh my God, I don't know, dude.
I don't know, but I want 100 of you. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you, but I want 100 of you because at least you're asking for it and grasping for it, and so that's why they make it on my current day Mount Rushmore of tag teams.
All right.